Hey guys, Nottinger here. Today's game is going to be part 2 of my 3-part series about Control Shadow. This game is going to be versus Sword. Sword as a whole is generally a favorite matchup for Shadow. Just because Shadow generally tends to be about like endless hordes of creatures, and Sword doesn't really have AoE quite like that. Also, Sword has difficulties racing Shadow at times, so. Alright, so he plays Mage Leader here. To be honest, I'm actually really happy to see Mage Leader over something like Veteran Lancer, just because Mage Leader is a 1/1 that can get value traded into. And generally, if Sword does not have a board, you can kind of take advantage of that and tend to beat them pretty easily. Alright, so here I play the Goblin Mage over the Grimnir just because this turn is the turn in which he wants to Geno me, so I'd rather save my Grimnir for later in the game, where the ward will actually be more useful. However, I do get punished here, because he does have Whole Soul Swing, and he chooses to go face. I go ahead and trade, and because I have 3 little Soul Squashers, I choose to hold 2 of them. The reason why I chose to hold 2 of them was because next turn was going to be my turn 5, and I can use the Soul Squasher for that one, and then I can use my last Soul Squasher on turn 6 with Mint. So here I go Uriel. I don't Evo just because, or I might actually Evo here. Yeah, okay, I lied. I did Evo. Alright, so I did Evo just because, as I said previously, I want board control versus Sword. Also, turn 6 is his Geno turn, so. However, he plays Otohime. The Otohime was actually pretty fierce for me because I wasn't going to be able to clear it properly unless I had AoE. So I had to top deck Foul Tempest here in order to be fine, but I don't. So instead, I go Mint. Oh yeah, and pause here. Yeah. So instead, I go Mint plus a little Soul Squasher over Foul Tempest, because if you watch part 1 of my series, then you'll know that turn 6 is ideally when I want to do this, just because it gives me more stats on board, and wards versus Sword are actually more important the later you go, more so than they are the earlier you start. Because I'm still at 16 on going into his turn 7, so the wards are really more so important if I can get them on turn 8, maybe turn 9, in order to block stuff like turn 9 Albert. He still has 1 Evo left, but with my board state the way it is, I can force him to use that last Evo this turn. And then I also have Thane's next turn as well, so. Yeah. But I choose to go face, just so that way I can try to set up a scenario in which if it comes down to it, I can race him if I need to. Here he plays Durandal. The Durandal kind of threw me off a little bit because I wasn't expecting him to have both Otohime and Durandal in the same deck. However, him playing this was actually really fine for me, just because he does get the full clear like he wants. However, I still have an Evo left. I can go Immortal Thane, and because Durandal has exactly 4 HP left, her amulet is going to do nothing to protect her. I'm also going to get to establish a Thane on a clear board versus Sword of all classes. Sword, as I said numerous times in this video, doesn't have AoE, so even though all of my creatures all have 1 HP left, he can't do anything about it. So here, he plays Aurelia. And to be honest, I could have gone Voices of Resentment here. However, I really wanted to establish my Mordecai, just because even if he is Control Sword, he's going to need to be playing Odin's in order to deal with this Mordecai. And this is one of the safest turns that I could get to play my Mordecai, since I'm not playing Nup, and therefore any Mordecai that I play, I have to hard cast. Alright, so here he plays the front guard. He honestly probably thought that the front guard was going to buy him a lot of time. However, the Voices of Resentment cleanly trades into both bodies of front guard and drops him down to 4 HP. The 4 HP is relevant because I have 10 HP worth of stats on the board, and five of those are from Mordecai. So even if you were to even if you were to like Bahamut me here, it wouldn't actually matter, just because Mordecai would still be alive at the end. So he realizes this and concedes. But yeah, just and that was part 2. So the next part will be part 3, and I believe that will be versus Shadow. Hope you guys enjoyed. Thank you for watching. I'll catch you guys next time.